Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who was wisdom, who was the Holy Spirit. Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, we get into some more understanding, showing you how prophecy is being fulfilled right under the noses of our enemies. And they still have no idea that the Most High is awakening his people and calling them back to him. Going to get into this book real quick. Well, probably get into a couple books, but we'll just start with this one. The Secret of the Illuminati. And remember, the way the church has worked all these things out with the verbiage that they use, you'll think of certain things and you'll think it always has a negative or evil connotation to it. But like in most of these books, you can find our story, and you're going to find out why right now. Why we can go into these different books, talking about all these different subjects, and find our story hidden in them. That was all part of this awakening. The churches have still tried to, make everyone stick to just the one book they've created, or that they came up with. They didn't create the Bible. They picked the books that were going to be in the Bible. But this is going to show you that our story is everywhere, not just in books. It's in different things as well. But check this part out right here. So you guys have heard about chakras and stuff like that, and they attribute a lot of that to the East Indians. Like those are the people that came up with all this stuff. But they're going to talk about that right now. Manly Hall indicates that as the energy activates the chakras, it passes through the 33 segments of the spinal column, which represent the 33 degrees of the Masons, until it passes through into the brow chakra. This is the one which governs the pituitary. It is ruled over by the goddess Isis. Here, the spirit energy calls upon the sun god, Ra. The pineal gland, demanding the secret name. Since the 33rd is the highest degree of the Masonic order, it can be taken that this corresponds to the opening of the crown chakra. And, and they put these names and they put these titles because that's what they do. It says Isis, I'm not going to listen to this. Oh, it says, Isis, it says Ra. Those are the names that the Gentiles put on these things. Those weren't the names that were attributed to them in the beginning. The information is still pertinent and it's still important, but just because they put their titles on it doesn't now negate this information. But since they've done that's what happens to a lot of people. Oh, I'm not going to get into that. That's Satan worship. It's just Isis and Ra and stuff like that. Just look at what it's talking about. This stuff was not their information. They got it later. They put their titles on it, which then they're continuing to use it. But the people that it was intended for in the first place stay away from it because they think it has a negative or evil connotation to it. Let's continue. Once a great truth has been uncovered, one discovers, hints of it in many works, in many lands. This is because truth is universal. It does not belong to only one people. Okay, they kind of go off on that part, but hey, it does belong to the one people. It belongs to the Israelites, the ones that the Most High has kept as his people. They are to share that information, or to be in a position of leadership for the rest of the world. It's all about order. But they can put their little spin on things, but that's okay. Main thing, once a great truth has been uncovered, one discovers hints of it in many works, in many lands. See, once we found out the truth about who we are, once we find out the truth about the things we were supposed to go through, the adversity we're supposed to deal with, once we found out about the churches and the things that they've done to hide our story, once you understand that, then when you start to go to these other books, you find your stories in them. Because truth is universal. Our story, the truth of What happened to the real Israelites, the true Israelites, is universal. The fact that we are the Most High's chosen people, that's universal. The fact that, our story is written in the Irish wisdom book. They talk about the Irish, but the attributes of the people, the things that the people have gone through, that fits us. That's how you can find yourself in all these different books. Because truth is universal. Who we are is universal. What we've gone through is universal. How this is the true understanding of prophecy is universal. That's why we can go to, different books and find our stories. We can go to historical books and find our stories. We can go to ISIS Unveiled and see how our enemies have tricked the whole world into worshiping the false god, worshiping the false spirits, and being led astray. That was all part of the plan of the Most High, of course, because he put the lion spirits on top of these people in order to keep them away from him. That's what he's been doing. That was his plan, and that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing all the way to today. So you can find, elements of our story everywhere. That's why we can bring out all these other books now, and we can find our story in them. So we can go to all these different books and find our story. Because why? Because truth is universal. See, their lies is not universal. So that's why they can't go to other reference points and prove what they're saying. They can't prove that Ish is the people. They can't prove that the lands over there in the so-called Middle East are the lands, the holy lands. They can't prove that. Why is that? Because lies are not universal. Truth is. The evidence will not support what they're saying. Acting like there's going to be a rapture, and they're all still here. Why is that? Why is it not happening? Because truth is universal, not lies. Saying that the church has replaced Israel. They'll say certain things because they can sit there and say all they want, all the things that they want. But the lies are not universal. The truth is, you're not going anywhere. You're just going to stay right here. You've got a lot to pay for, a lot to answer for. So again, once a great truth has been uncovered, one discovers hints of it in many works and many lands. And that's why we can get these books, they're all over the world, but they're telling our story. Because before the Catholic Church was raised up, our priests were going worldwide and were teaching. And they were giving knowledge and understanding to all these different nations. And they wrote these things down. So that now, as the world is going upside down, and the true people are being raised back up, who have had the Holy Spirit, having given understanding, they can now get into these other books, and they can get understanding. We realize now that this information that you guys have is ours. You guys are talking about chakras and the deeper things, the esoteric understandings. We understand that. Where did you get that from? You got that from somewhere. Someone had that information. And then when you go to the fact that the Most High is dealing with his people and giving us the spirits, to understand things, he's broken things down to our people, to our ancestors. Then you understand where these things come from. And as you put us under, we went under the curses, and you guys got a hold of our records, and you constantly say the same things. Oh, the Druids never wrote anything down. Oh, the Aborigines, the natives here, they never wrote anything. Never wrote anything down. They were savages. See, but it's the same thing over and over again. But once you get that great truth has been uncovered, one discovers hints of it in many works in many lands. Our priests were all over the world. So therefore, they were bringing truth all over the world. It was recorded. And now at the end, we're getting that information back and getting that understanding back. And it's a worldwide undertaking. So again, it does not belong to only one people. Okay, it belonged to the Israelites. The Most High was the one that was giving us this information. And we were using it to make the world a better place. It says, The teaching regarding the chakras did not originate in India, although in our age, this knowledge does appear to come from the East. You see that right there? They're giving you little hints. The teaching regarding the chakras did not originate in India. Okay, so you guys don't know where it originated from, but you're going to give us your opinion as to where you think it originated from, but you don't know. So you're showing, like we said, where did you guys get this information from? You're not going to admit that. You're not going to admit where this stuff comes from. You're just going to you're going to say you don't know, but then you're going to give your opinion, which it's an opinion. It's not a fact. So the teaching regarding the chakras did not originate in India, although in our age, this knowledge does appear to come from the East. So of course in your age, because everything has been set up to make you think that everybody, all these different countries, everything originated there. Philosophy originated in Greece. He was Pythagoras was the first philosopher. Oh, the Indians, the East Indians here were the ones that came up with the chakras. The Chinese were the ones that came up with all this deep knowledge and understanding. It was like martial arts and things like that, certain high, mathematics, and so you take in the blessings of the Israelites and give it to everybody else. And this is exactly what it's saying right here, because you don't know where it came from. You guys know exactly where this information came from, but the world is confederate to keep it a secret. So again, the teaching regarding the chakras did not originate in India, although in our age, this knowledge does appear to come from the East. Originally, it must have been universal knowledge possessed by all men when the world was one. You see, again, giving your opinion. Your opinion doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want. Most High did not deal that way. He did not give everybody all this information. He gave it to one specific group of people. He gave it to Enoch. Enoch passed it down to his people. Adam, it got down to Enoch, got down to Abraham. Okay, so you guys can sit there and say all you guys want because you don't want to believe everything's universalism. So you're going to push that in these books. But because we have this understanding, we can sift through the lies. Okay, now check this part. It has been seen that many mysteries were secreted in the Holy Bible in order that man might rediscover the ancient wisdom when he would be ready to use it justly. Now, see, this is talking about our people again. It has been seen that many mysteries were secreted in the Holy Bible in order that man might rediscover the ancient wisdom, okay, when he would be ready to use it justly. Who were the ones that were giving understanding of the scriptures? Only one group of people. So it wasn't just man. It was, again, these are Israel's records, not just anyone's. Okay, let's get that really fast. Okay, because they always want to make it sound like it's universalism, but we all know that it's not. So let's go to Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. He has not dealt so with any nation. So these words, this understanding was given to Jacob, to the Israelites. You see, that's what happens when the Most High gives us this understanding. We can sift through the BS. We can sift through the lies. So again, it has been seen that many mysteries were secreted in the Holy Bible in order that the Israelites might rediscover the ancient wisdom. Okay, when he would be ready to use it justly. It's for the Israelites. They've been given this information. The Bible has been unlocked for them, not for everyone. Because we are going to be the ones, again, in a position of authority. And to use it justly again, after we served our punishment, that's when the Most High is going to give us our knowledge and understanding back. And our knowledge and understanding is yes, we started in the Bible, but we're going to go to many different books because our story is everywhere. You can read the rest of this on your own, but I just wanted to start with that part right there. It kind of confirms many things. Our story is going to be in many different books, in many different lands. These people right here did not know exactly where the chakras, the teaching of the chakras originated, but we all know that they're all Psalms 83 confederate against Israel. So of course they're going to say something like that. And then it's going to talk about how, right here, the Bible has things that are secreted in them, and that the Israelites are going to rediscover the ancient wisdom. Why is that? Because we had our wisdom taken away. So of course we have to rediscover the ancient wisdom. Why is that? Because the Gentiles have all been confederate in keeping the ancient wisdom away from our people. Why is that? Because we are the only ones that will have that kind of understanding and be able to use it justly. The powers, again, justly. Because you see what happens when the Gentiles get power, they use it unjustly. And it's just funny because I got a couple of comments I wanted to highlight because many of them are using the same tactics that they've always used. And it's the same things over and over again to keep you away from reading, keep you away from studying, keep you away from your knowledge. Just like we just showed you before, our stories in many different books in many different lands. Many of the books that I'm getting are not from America; they're from other lands. Like they've been hidden there or left there so that we could get them now. Because the Most High knew we were going to wake up, and He has been holding this information in different parts of the world, waiting for us to awaken, waiting for the time for us to assume our positions of power and authority once again. So right here, Shalom family, I am indeed a Hebrew who has been in the walk for 28 years plus, 11 years of believing that we were Israel, but having little proof. That said, I am a Kabbalist, a Hebrew who studies the secrets of the mysteries of heaven and champions the gospel of Hamashiach and the baptism by the Holy Spirit via prolonged fasting and repentance. All right. I am shocked that you have fallen for a theosophy. This is Luciferian doctrine. Nothing more, nothing less. Oh my people, fall not for this gross deception. The adversary Satan is the serpent of the garden. Be not deceived. Many have forbidden access to the truth in regards to the mysteries of heaven. But this ain't that. Nothing but an opinion. But it's the same things that they always do. That's my response real fast. It says, you sound just like all the other demons that come here trying to put us in a box. Just because I read the Book of Mormon doesn't make me a part of the Mormon church. Just because I use information from Isis Unveiled doesn't make me part of their religious beliefs. The deceiver has been very good at doing that. You fall right in line with the enemy's tactics. Take your weak arguments to keep us in darkness somewhere else. You get no play here. Is that not exactly what they've been doing? Nothing different, right? Oh, you don't celebrate the holidays? Oh, you must be a Jehovah's Witness. Oh, you don't eat bacon? Oh, you must be a Muslim. Oh, you read the Book of Mormon? Oh, you must be a Mormon. Oh, hold on, but don't you read the Bible? Doesn't that make you then a Catholic? Oh, no. No, that doesn't make me a Catholic. Are you sure? It sounds like the same reason you've done that with us, we can do the same thing for you. So you read the Bible, right? So that makes you a Baptist or a Pentecostal? No. This is my book. No, it's my book. You see, same tactics, nothing new. I've read maybe 2.5 pages out of Isis Unveiled, and somehow now I'm part of the theosophy and their religion. See, they do anything to keep you from reading the book. I have the Holy Spirit, and she can show me what's good in the book and what is probably not making any sense. We have free will to read and decipher things and be led by the Spirit. But see, that's what I think the Bible is like. Maybe the only books is like you just take it and you just act like every word of it is absolutely correct and it's never been tampered with and never been changed. That's the way we've been taught. And they act like all the other books that are supposedly, good books are going to be just like that. They're not going to have anything that you're going to disagree with, which is not true. So you got to read things with an open mind, and you got to read things and discern things through the Spirit. You got to have discernment, because the enemy has had free reign with our knowledge, and they put some good information in books, some that's not true, in order to throw you off. So I had a couple of these comments I wanted to talk about here. This guy right here, who controls? Okay, he was talking about this video right here, and it's talking. I think about from the Black Celts book. Okay, so it's how do you explain Genesis chapter 10 and Jubilees chapter 8 that explain where Shem's land is? It's in the middle of the earth and expands to the south, not the north. That's Japheth's land. Okay, just want to get some context here. What video he's talking about? And I'm just like, okay, I don't have to explain anything to you. Why don't you go to the Vatican and tell them to give us our records and we can get to the bottom of these mysteries? See, they never go to the people who have our books. They never go to that. How come a Black Celts book is almost impossible to find? Who is the one that's making it so difficult to find? How come all these other records from all these different areas are at the basement of the Vatican, in the Vatican archives, and you can't go and see them? You can't go and read them. For what reason can you not go yourself and read these books? Why is it that it's only a select few people that get the opportunity to go and check out these books? Why do they have our records and they're able to do all, keep them away from the Most High's chosen people? See, they never question that. You never hear them say anything about that. But it's, hey, you need to explain this and you need to explain that. I don't need to explain anything. I'm bringing the information. If you don't agree with it, keep it moving. This could whet your appetite to go out and explore and do more research on your own. That's your choice. I don't need to sit here and explain every little thing. The churches don't. The churches don't explain anything. They say, oh, Paul was the first pope. Nobody questions that. You have any proof? Oh, the Pope, is pretty much God on the earth, and pretty much when anything he says goes, and it's like it's been spoken from God. And does anybody question that? Nope. The Sabbath day is Sunday. Anybody question that? Nope. Jesus' birthday is December 25th. Do you guys question that? Nope. But if anybody says anything outside of what you guys have been conditioned to believe, oh, you need to explain this, you need to explain that. No, I'm just like the church. I don't gotta explain anything. I can say whatever the hell I want. And then if you don't like it, keep it moving. That's what the churches do. If you question the church, what do they do? I don't think this is for you. I think you need to go to another place. I think same thing here. We're no different. If you don't like it here, you don't like the information here, keep it moving. I'm not trying to explain every little thing for you. That's not what we're here for. So we're just like the church. If you're going to give them that kind of leeway, you might as well just give us that kind of leeway, because we can do the same thing. And unlike the church, we're not asking for you to give us 10% of your tithes every year and everything else. You can hit play, or you can go ahead and go to the next video. Your choice. But don't, give these churches and this whole society a pass and then think that we need to break everything down for you, because we don't. We don't even know the directions, if the directions of north and south and east or west are the way that they were used back in ancient times. Everything has been reversed. Have the directions been reversed as well? See, we know about Shem's land based off of the weather, not directions. The type of, it has seasons. Ham's land is a hot land, desert lands. Japheth's land is a cold lands. No seasons. That's how we've figured it out through Jubilees. But see, they were talking about, it's the middle of the earth. And hey, do we know exactly how everything was when they were talking back then? How the lands were situated? Because the lands have changed. But like I said, we're held to a higher standard, while these churches are allowed to do whatever the hell they want to do and do whatever they want to do. So if you like that, go do that. We're going to take a look here at this one. The Devil's Church. Now you're going to realize this is another book here. I think I only found like one. A lot of these books, there's like maybe one available. And it's got a lot of good information, but when you can notice in this book, we will do some videos out of this one as well, is that they're like Protestants, and they're just really trying to destroy the Catholic Church and secret societies, but they make it seem like the Protestants are God's chosen church, and they're the hidden, they're the main church here at the end days and all that stuff. But they kind of have to believe that in order to write these kinds of books and disclose a lot of information, because they got to think that they're the ones that are chosen of the Most High. That's the only way that they're going to be able to, destroy the works of the other nations. So Most High lets them think that. Hey, you're the chosen church. You guys are this. You guys are that. Go ahead and rat out the Catholics, and go ahead and rat out the secret societies. And that's what this book does. So it's called The Devil's Church, or Modern Secret Societies. Okay, a reproduction of ancient paganism, which it kind of is. Remember, and the pagans are, of course, are what? All of the original sites that are the temples and things like that we had. They just went in and took them over and built the churches on top of it, or they just took over the church and just made a couple of changes and changed the name and said that this is a new Christian church. They didn't tear down all of these structures. A lot of times they just took over the structures, changed it up a little bit, and said now it's Christian. Talking about Paul right here, okay? And the things that when the real Israelites are preaching and who they're going to be going after, okay? It says Paul's preaching exposed idol worship and caused the subjects to make a stir for the protection of the heathen god. So see, when the true Israelites are bringing out this information, they're preaching, this stirs up, the protection of the heathen gods. It stirs up the protection of the lying spirits. These people that are subject to them, they get stirred up to protect their demon worship, which is what you see in these comments. Oh, you need to explain this, and oh, you need to do this, and you need to do that. Well, how come you don't make your demons explain anything? Well, they don't have to, but you need to. And when you start bringing out the truth, this is what happens in the spirit world. It gets the demons going because they got to try to defend, their beliefs, defend their turf. So right here again, Paul's preaching exposed idol worship and caused the subjects to make a stir for the protection of the heathen god. And at the same time, there arose no small stir about that way. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom he called together with the workmen of a like occupation, and said, Sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth. Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all of Asia. So these guys are making all of these, statues. They're making all this money. That, hey, this is how we make our money. This is how we make our living. Okay, not just in our city, but like all over Asia. Okay. It says, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods, which are made with hands, so that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth. And when they heard these things, they were full of wrath, and cried out, saying, Great is Diana of the Ephesians. You see in the comments, you see this. Pastors, and priests are going to, be stirred up because, hey, you're messing with my money. You're messing with my money. You can't be telling people that these are not gods, that these, this is not the real true place of worship. You can't do that because you're messing with my money. That's just going to piss us all off. And that's exactly what's happening. So nothing's new as we bring out this truth, bring out this understanding. It's just to be expected that we're going to get a lot of demons, coming into these people and stirring them up. Now you understand like why, they killed the prophets before, because you're messing with their livelihood. You're messing with their money. Let's continue. Paul, like all the ministers of the New Testament church, made an uproar in every place to which he went, mainly because he began almost instantly at the idol worshippers. So who are we supposed to be going at when we bring up this information? Are we supposed to be fighting each other, going after each other? Oh, my camp, my group, this, and you don't say the word Ahaya, you say Yahweh. You're going at each other. That's what they want. Because what were our brethren doing? Who were they going after first? Idol worshipers. Who were they going after first? People who were in these churches, and these churches who were teaching lies. That's who they were going after. The root of the problem. And what do the churches want? They want internal strife between us, fighting with each other. Oh, I can't talk to you. You're not in my camp. Oh, you're not with my group, so I can't talk to you. Either we're 100% together, or you're my enemy. You think that that's what our enemies do? Of course not. They got multiple hundreds of denominations, not thousands. They got all these different churches, but they're damn sure going to come together and come against the Israelites. They will set their disagreements aside to come against the Israelites. Psalms 83. You see that? But with us, it's like, oh no, you got to agree with me 100%. If not, then hey, you got to agree with my elders 100%. You got to agree with my people 100%, or else I'm not dealing with you. You see how the enemy has been working. They come together. They don't care about their disagreements. They will come together. They have come together to destroy us and our people. But as you can tell, this is who our ancestors were going after. Paul, like all the ministers of the New Testament, the same thing with they can say New Testament church, it doesn't matter. That's their lingo they like to use. Israelites, okay, like all the other Israelites, made an uproar in every place to which he went, mainly because he began almost instantly at the idol worshippers. That's where they go after first. It says the Most High's ministers do the same today. The ones that are really in this, following the ways of the Most High, they're going after the enemy, the idol worshippers, first and foremost, creating separation. That's what they're doing. Okay, so again, the Most High's ministers do the same today. Those who are obliged to sanction these things are not ministers of the New Testament type. And in his letter to the Ephesian church, Paul is careful to warn them not to mingle with idol worshippers. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of the Most High upon the children of disobedience. Be not ye therefore partakers with them. For ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Most High. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Most High, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doth make manifest is light. Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. And we've been awakened from the dead, and the Most High has given us light. We don't get light from the other nations. We don't get understanding from the other nations. They bring nothing but darkness. That's why I got some comment was like, why are you attacking the Catholic Church? Why are you just attacking the Catholic Church? I'm like, I'm not attacking anybody, man. I said, I'm just showing you history. I'm showing you information. And I guess, just shining a light on the darkness is attacking. Them lying about absolutely everything isn't the problem. It's us shining a light is the problem. So you're going to be able to tell who the real ministers of the Most High are, because they're going to cause strife everywhere they go, because they're bringing out, they're exposing the other nations and their idol worship, and they don't want that. So again, this is really important, right? There's that part down at the bottom. Once a great truth has been uncovered, one discovers hints of it in many works and many lands. Once you understand, that we are the ancients, we are the originators of this information, that they stole our information and passed it everywhere, then you start to see this information everywhere. Once you understand that you are the Druids, you are with the so-called Irish, and you start to see the things that they've gone through, then you start to look at other books and you start to see our stories right there. I brought out some information about the Irish. Brother Kudameo brought out his information about the lands of Ur and Ireland, and some other information, and it all starts to make sense, because these books are coming from different lands, and you start to realize that fits our people, because that's what this is showing you. Once a great truth has been uncovered, one discovers hints of it in many works, in many lands. And before, we would read these books and not make the connections, but now that we discovered these many truths, that we weren't just relegated to the so-called Middle East, that we were in different lands, then it starts to make more sense. Like I said, this is like unpeeling the onion and getting more and more understanding. Just like they admit, the chakras, the information with the chakras, that didn't originate in India, but for years they've done it so it made it seem like it all came from India, because that's the way that they've framed it. Because that's been their MO. Take all of our information, take our understanding, give it to other people, and then make it seem as if they've always had it. Once we understand that great truth, then we start to see how we'll see other books just like this one we got today, admitting that, the Indians didn't come up with the chakra stuff. the chakra information. We don't know where it came from, but it wasn't the Indians, the East Indians. But forever we thought it was. Yeah, I remember we used to play Street Fighter. I want to say the guy was name was Dalsim or something like that, and he was a fighter from India, and he would actually have all these crazy like chakra kind of things, and he'd be like levitating and doing all these crazy moves in the game. So just even in these games, they get our minds thinking that, oh, the East Indians are the ones that come up with this, this crazy mystical, magical stuff, the stretching and the yoga and all that all came from East India. But then in this book it says, oh, well, it didn't originate with the East Indians. You see, but they've put it in our minds forever. If anybody played, Street Fighter growing up, you'll remember the Indian guy, the guy from India who was levitating and his arms would go super long and he would have all these crazy moves because, he would be levitating and all this yoga kind of stuff and mystical kind of powers. Now we know why. They were conditioning our minds with these kinds of things from jump. It's never going to be you Negro stuff. It's never going to be your brown. No, it's not going to be you guys. It's these guys. It's East Indians. They're the ones that came up with this. So I've been checking out the movie Doctor Strange, and Brother Elijah got me into checking that one out. And where does he go? He goes over to the East to get this information, to get this understanding, because they push that. So you can't just assume that the things that they're telling us where things are originated from have really originated from those places. But that's all part of the unlearning what you have learned. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.